What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some really big news to talk about coming out of the LCS. Now, about 3 weeks ago, Flyquest dropped this pretty crazy tweet on us that actually announced a couple of huge moves for their roster. Obviously, first off, they announced that Licorice was going to be transferred from Flyquest over to Golden Guardians. Things just were not working out with him in the top lane. Things were not working out with the big kind of star player they decided to build their team around. So they decided to dump him off. But also the second big move going on was that this was going to be the introduction of Flyquest Academy into the LCS. I think at the time they were like the second or third best Academy team, and Flyquest, the LCS team, was not doing so hot, so they were going to make a change. They were going to let this Academy team see what they could do, and then the rest is history. Flyquest Academy in the LCS went through some really high highs, some really low lows, and now, sticking with the theme of the LCS season of constantly making changes, constantly making crazy moves, Flyquest has decided to make some more moves headed into the final week of the LCS regular season, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon over at patreon.com/IamGerm if you want to go that little extra mile supporting me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, again, after Flyquest decided to make these moves, people didn't really know what to think. Yeah, Kumo, NXI, Triple, Tomo, Diamond, some of these players most LCS fans hadn't even heard of before. And again, they weren't the best Academy team. They weren't dominating the Academy scene. They were just a really good Academy team. So people kind of had low expectations for them. But we do know that they came in that first weekend. They took down Cloud9. They took down CLG. They took down Immortals. And then even leading into the next week, they took down TSM. Flyquest Academy had a 4-0 start to their run in the LCS. Things were looking good. People all of a sudden were saying, what is going on down in Academy? Do we need to get more Academy players up to the LCS? Do we need to get more Academy teams up to the LCS? How is this team able to come into the LCS and not only beat teams, but beat two of the top teams in the league in TSM and Cloud9, be a surging Immortals team? People were like, what's going on? It was turning heads. People were talking. This was very interesting. Flyquest had life for the first time. I believe the Flyquest LCS team was on like a 10-11 game losing streak or something. And then for the Academy team to come in and win 4 in a row was very surprising, but was also so impressive in so many different ways. But unfortunately, all good things do come to an end. At that time, I was kind of predicting that they would kind of come back down to earth. Because again, at the end of the day, they were just Academy players. They didn't have a ton of LCS experience. They didn't have a ton of LCS time. They weren't super hyped up prospects, a lot of them. And again, they weren't exactly dominating the Academy scene. So I didn't think they'd just be able to come in and have sustained success in the LCS or anything like that. And I did kind of prove to be right there as they went on to lose their next 5 games. Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, Liquid, Cloud9, and Dignitas all took down Flyquest in a row to get the final record of this Flyquest Academy team in the LCS at 4 wins and 5 losses, which is still very impressive. Still probably much better than most people would have expected, probably better than most people would have guessed. But again, the big news coming out today is that the Flyquest Academy run has come to an end. When Flyquest tweeted out this on July 27th, this was a couple days ago for me, but I'm just getting to it today, their LCS roster update going into week 9 in the Academy. We will see Phillip in the top lane, NXI in the jungle, Triple in the mid lane, and Johnson and Dreams in the bot lane, with our starting LCS roster being Kumo, Jose Diodo making his return to the LCS, Palafox in the mid lane, Tomo remaining to be the starting AD carry, and Diamond being his support. This is very interesting in so many ways. A lot of the instant reaction, a lot of the comments is people thinking that Jose Diodo does not deserve his spot back in the LCS. You know, Jose Diodo didn't really look that amazing during his time in the LCS. Some people have blamed it on Palafox and Licorice being weak solo laners, and it's obviously very hard to jungle when you have weak solo laners. Some people have blamed it on Jose Diodo himself, and a lot of people were really impressed with NXI and really think that he deserves more of a starting shot in the LCS. But the big thing here is that when Jose Diodo and Palafox went down to Academy, they were two very big standouts. They did very well. So there's also the flip side where, NXI, Triple, they're on a 5-game losing streak. Jose Diodo and Palafox, they're doing really well. Also, Jose Diodo and Palafox have more LCS experience at this point. and Jose Deoto's kind of one of the big guys this team was built around. Palafox as well. These two, this was supposed to be kind of like the mid-jungle duo of the future for Flyquest. I think another interesting thing here is that Johnson, he was once seen as a very, very hyped up-and-coming 80 carry prospect with Team Dignitas. He was, doing very, very well. He was popping off, and now all of a sudden, he's finding himself back in Academy, not even able to work his way back into the LCS roster with Flyquest. That is very, very strange, and that's also going to be very, very detrimental to his future. It'll be interesting to see if Flyquest moves on from him, if he's able to find another starting job in the LCS, or if he's right back to, that Academy proving ground type thing where he's going to have to work his way back up to the LCS again, because we know that is a grind. We know that is, no fun and very, very difficult, especially a player like him who thinks, I'm sure he thought he had already proven himself. I'm sure he thought he was in the LCS to stay, but now he might have to go through the whole process all over again. So some of the interesting stuff here is that, again, we are coming into the last weekend of the LCS, and the bottom three teams all have a chance to make the playoffs. Right now, Flyquest is a game clear of Golden Guardians and 2 games clear of CLG, but everything could change going into last week. There's 3 games left, so with 3 games to play, only being 2 games up on CLG and 1 game up on GGS, these guys could all trade places. CLG could still slide into that 8th spot. Golden Guardians could still slide into that 8th spot. And I believe today, if this video comes out on Friday, Flyquest and Golden Guardians actually play each other. So the winner of that game will have a significant leg up on the competition. If Flyquest is able to win that, they would then be 2 games clear and would be almost a lock for the playoffs at that point. But if Golden Guardians does win, and they are sitting at 13 wins, as well as Flyquest sitting at 13 wins, things could be very, very interesting. So obviously this is Flyquest making a last-ditch effort. This is them locking in what they believe to be their best lineup for the last 3 games of the LCS regular season, the most important 3 games of this whole year for this team, because obviously when teams form, they have aspirations of like making it to playoffs, winning championships, making it to Worlds, and none of that can happen if you don't start by making it to the playoffs. You can't pull off any upsets, you can't go on any crazy runs, you can't even just get that playoff stage time, that playoff experience without actually starting by making the playoffs. So these are going to be some very, very big games. It will be interesting to see how this Flyquest lineup is able to play together, because for a while it was the LCS team, then it was the Academy team who still had a bunch of synergy and stuff together from their time in Academy. And now it's kind of a mashup of the LCS team and the Academy team. So there's not necessarily a ton of synergy here with, Palafox and Jose Deoto and then some of these other players on the team. So will these last 3 days, or will this last week, or maybe even less than a week before these games be enough time for them to actually get acclimated to each other? Will this Golden Guardians team that's had more time with each other be able to pull off some wins and sneak into the playoffs? Or will CLG, who's a absolutely veteran-laden team, be able to rise up even against all odds with the pressure on, where they really can't afford to lose any games? And will they sneak into the playoffs? I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting, but I think it is funny to see again in the LCS, where we have seen crazy, crazy roster moves throughout the whole season with just 1 week to go, us getting one last little roster swap in there, which I think is very, very interesting. We have the Team Liquid stuff going on as well. So the LCS has really been crazy, interesting, exciting, and fun this whole season. There is a race for 8th place. There is also a race for 1st place. So this last week should be a ton of fun. Definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so, so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the roster moves that Flyquest has made? Do you think they're good, bad, or do you just not really care either way? You think they're just kind of meh? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamJerm. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.